This is the only video you will ever need to learn how to edit your YouTube videos like a pro for free. Of course, I know that you've been battling with how to edit, so this is what's going to teach you. It's a beginner's guide, and you will learn how to edit quickly with ease, without stress, and of course, in the most efficient way. So go ahead and give a like to this video, and don't forget to subscribe. That's it. Now, I'm taking you straight into my INSHOT app to show you how to do this with ease. Let's go. Now, starting point is that you need to download the app. Now, it's called Video Editor and Maker INSHOT. So this is how it looks like on the Google Play Store. And then, of course, you will see the icon just like this, as you can see it here. So I click on the icon, which is INSHOT, and it brings me right into this interface. So this is the INSHOT interface, right? You can see it has video, it has photo, it has collage. That's the beauty of INSHOT, because it actually, right, gives you options for you to be able to edit so many kind of formats, whether it's video, whether it's photo, whether it is collage. Now, why do I love INSHOT so much? It's not complicated. It's easy. It's so simple. I mean, it's so intuitive. I'm telling you, I didn't even, there were just a few things I had to, search on YouTube to try and know how to do, because it looked a little bit, kind of complicated. But in this video, I'm going to share with you every single one. So please go ahead and watch this video all the way to the end, because you're in for a good ride. So starting point, we will need to click on this section that says video. When we click on that, it brings us inside here. Now, of course, you can see I have a lot of drafts in here because I'm always using INSHOT. In fact, my son was like, "What? You have this many drafts?" And I said, "Yes, I do, because I'm always editing and editing videos. This is my go-to resource." So let's quit talking and get straight into it. You click on new. When you click on new, you can see a lot of videos here. Then you go and pick the video you want to use. So I'm just scrolling down. I have one video that I have here that I shot. Yes, now it's a very simple video that I shot on a plain background, and you guys, I'm gonna show you how to change your background, just in case you don't really like where your background is. You don't like what you're seeing. Don't worry, I've got your back. So you just stay tuned, and I will teach you how to go about that. So you click on the tick sign here. Once you click on that, it brings you into the interface. Now you can see that is just a video shot behind a plain wall, but you're gonna see the transformation that's gonna happen to this video in just a bit, because I'm gonna show you every step of the way what you should be doing. Right now, this is a paid app. It also has free features, right? But you see, one thing that I love so much about INSHOT is that it gives you an opportunity to remove the watermark. I am telling you, that is a game changer. The reason why I say don't use CAPCUT, it's not going to be free. Why? Because you will never be able to get rid of that logo, of that watermark. It will always be there in your videos. So right now, let me show you how to get rid of this watermark. You click on it. When you click on it, it asks you, do you want to go for pro? Do you want to just be totally ad-free? And if you check on the INSHOT Pro, let me share with you how much. It's not that much really. But why did I choose to stick with the free? I just stick with the free because it's so much easier. I just have to watch an ad. And funny enough, some of these ads, I actually learned something from them. Now, this video is not sponsored by INSHOT, but please, INSHOT, if you're watching this, go ahead and contact me and sponsor me. I would love that. So to get rid of that watermark, you click on free remove. Oh my God. Once you click on that, it's going to serve you an ad. Of course, they've got to make money. We have been granted our reward because we watched an ad. So, for me, I'm okay with watching the ads. When you are a content creator, you never are annoyed with ads. Why? Because, that's the way people make money, okay? So now that we've gotten rid of the watermark. What are we going to do next? Remember, we have imported our video, because the very first step, like I showed you, is to import the video. You already have the video footage that you have either shot on your video, your front video, your back video. It really depends on you. It could also be probably a screen recording. It could be anything. You have to import all of those, like I just showed you, where you clicked on video, you clicked on new, and you brought the video in here. So that was the very first step. Now the next step is that we want to check on the audio. Now sometimes we could get, to record our videos in probably a way that the audio isn't really sharp. So you want to come in here. First thing you want to do is slide to where you have audio. Can you see where you have volume here? You click on that, and the first thing you do is you can increase the volume at the end. Yes. Now the reason why we do that, it's better that people can hear you clearly than for people not to hear you, because you see, people can forget bad visuals. I mean, they can forgive you for bad visuals, but when it comes to bad audio, it's a problem. They can just decide to drop off. So increase that. The next step is, if for any reason there is noise in the background, or maybe it's sounding hollow or something like that, you can click on denoise, right? And that would help the noise to smoothen out. I mean, if there's anything that's creating a bad kind of noise in the background, you want to click on that denoise to help you to smoothen the audio in the background, and that helps a lot. I mean, sometimes you may need some external, apps like Adobe Podcast, which is podcast.adobe.com, where you can actually, extract your audio and then upload it to that platform where you can get it enhanced, right? It's been a game changer. I'm telling you, if you don't really have good audio, you can look at that, right? That's just a gem I dropped there. Go ahead and give a like for that gem I just dropped for you. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much. So now what we did was just to increase the audio, and of course smoothen out any rough edges if your audio is sounding somehow. And I also gave you a tip of how you can improve your audio further by taking your extracted audio from your video and then uploading it to Adobe Podcast. Now, none of these platforms are actually sponsoring me, but I mean, I wish they could. Let's keep on going. So now that we've increased the volume, the next thing that we need to do is to check out if there are any things that are mistakes. Now, of course, when you were recording your video, you'll make mistakes. So you need to trim out all those mistakes. What are you going to do? You're definitely going to have to cut it out and trim it out. So what you need to do is that you look for where there's a mistake, right? Probably there's a mistake here. You now come here. Can you see where you have this called split? Right, you definitely have to click on that split. When you click on the split, look for the other part where it ends that mistake. You go ahead and split it again, and then what do? You click on that middle portion, and then you come here and click on delete. That's it. That's how you take care of every little mistake that you have. That's what you call cutting and trimming, because you need to cut out all the rubbish that you've made mistakes about. So you do that. You definitely listen through all your videos, and then when you do that, you trim out all the mistakes. Now let's go into the next thing that you may likely want to do when you are editing, right, your videos. You may want to add text. What will you do? You come over to where you have this called text. You click on that letter T. When you click on that letter T, you can click on this letter text, this one that has T, and then text again, and it will give you an opportunity to write something. Now, of course, because there are different kind of fonts, different kind of templates, colors, and animations, so I'm just going to write something really cute here. Let me just say welcome. All right, so I'm just going to write welcome. So now you can see that it's already showing, it's already showing black because that was the last thing I did. So right now I have welcome. So, but I want to change this to white. So how do I change the color? I come over here. Can you see where we have this color palette is? When I click on that, I'm able to change the color outrightly to white. I can change it to red. I can change it to any color of my choice, right? Now notice something. Even though this is white, it has a shadow behind. Why? Because there are different templates. Now let me show you what is happening and what exactly this is giving me, and why we have a shadow is because when you come all the way to this bottom area, you'll see that we have different templates, and now this makes it completely white. This one gives a shadow, this one puts black behind it, so you can have all of these. This one puts a color border, and if you just slide, you'll see different types. Of course, it's not everything you may want to use. This is a colorful one. I actually love the way it looks, right? So I love the border of white around the color, and there are different options here, different options where you can, I mean, that's one thing about InShot. It's very simple to use and it gives you many options. Sometimes we want to make the text transparent. So let me take it back to the one that has the shadow. So let's say I want to make it transparent. Can you see where it says opacity? You can actually reduce how, you can make it more transparent. You can see it's actually almost disappearing into the background. Sometimes if you want to put a watermark, right, and you just want it to be somewhere at the corner, you don't want it to be very, so bogus, so you may just make a little watermark that will maybe be like your, your logo or something, or maybe just your something that is actually just showing that, and then you just leave it like that. That's how you do create what, a watermark. And you can increase. And now, for instance, if you want this to span totally through the entire video, you just have to come to these two edges here. When you click on this edge, it asks you, do you want it to go to the video end? You click on video end, then you come back here, click on this one and say, it says, do you want it to go to the video beginning or the clip beginning? We want it to go to the video beginning. So you see, it will run through the entire video. Can you see that? That this watermark, just like the way we saw the InShot watermark, you can actually put your own, watermark, right? Which is good. Let me just put Henry here. So for me to edit that, I just have to click on this edit, and then I can actually change whatever it is. Let me change it to Henry. And let me put Henry Shines, okay, and then I'll show you how to create a watermark. As you can see, you can change the font. Maybe I want to make it cursive, so I just want it to look really interesting. Can you see that? Now of course this has made it totally almost disappear. Now you can see this. Can you see that? I can use it as a signature at the bottom. I can come back again to increase the opacity because I'm not seeing it right now. I can increase. Can you see it's getting better? Can you see it's getting? That's how you go about it. So you can do this for every of your videos. You can put a watermark on your videos if you don't want anybody copying your videos. It's going to span the entire length of the video. So you can see how to add text. Maybe you're saying something really important, right? And you want people to hear that, right? You just need to come here, add text. You can actually do what I call animation. Let me show you how to make an animated text. So if I put in here, I'll say, let me just put hello. I want to change that to something much more with power and strength. So let me change the opacity so that we can see it very well. Okay, so let's get back into typing. Of course, for you to get back into typing, you have to come to this keyboard. Can you see that keyboard there, right? If you want to choose your font, you go to the middle. You want to change the color, you come to that color palette. You want to change, the way it is written, whether it moves to the right, it moves to the left, or it's centralized. You come to that as the formatting of your text, right? So when you now want to continue, you come to the keyboard. Can you see that keyboard? So let me just say hello. Let me put hello there, make it all caps. So let's say I want to make this a very nice one, and you can see it still has that shadow there because I wanted it gives it kind of like a lift. It makes it like 3D. So to animate, you come to this little ball that's going up and down. Can you see that little ball going up and down? You click on it, and then you can choose any kind of animated version. Like I always like using this one. It kind of drops. Can you see that? It just keeps on dropping. I mean, you can use all manner of animation. You can make it go from left to right to left, right? You can make it just appear. There are different types you can use, right? You can make the letters go halfway. I mean, this is what you can actually play around with. I just love it dropping in that manner, right? Because it kind of gives it some form of activity. So when it is playing,
Just doing what you love to do. Like,
That's what it's, can you see how it looks like? So you can actually make an animated text, right? And that will help you. So let's move on. Now that we've trimmed it out, we've added text. What if you want to add music? Very simple. Now remember, you must always go to YouTube audio library to get your music. Yes, I'll put a screenshot here. This is how YouTube audio library looks like, and you can pick up any music of your choice, right? Because you don't want strikes, you don't want, copyright claims, you don't want any of those stuff, right? You don't want anything to cause problems. So go ahead and get your music from YouTube audio library. Now, of course, you can decide to pay for packages like, Epidemic Sounds and the rest of them, but you want to get it free, go to YouTube library. Just take that. That's another gem I'm dropping for you. So now to add music, you click on here, come here to this music note sign. Can you see that music note sign? You click on it, right? And then let me just add music. So you click on this note sign again. Can you see that note sign there? You click on it. When you click on it, you come here to my music. Now I have loads and loads of different kind of music. You see this one that says Kamagu, House of the Gypsies? It was gotten from YouTube audio library. I have different kind of music that I can use, but it's always best to get music from YouTube audio library. So when you click on that, it will play it out for you, right? And you can use it. You can use it for that portion. Not only can you use music from audio library, you can also have voice effects, sound effects. I mean, that's also the beauty of InShot, because you can have voice effects. We go back to that same place where we took out our music, but this time around, instead of choosing music, can you see where we have effects? You can choose different sound effects, right? You can choose any one of these popular ones. So if I click on beep, yeah, can you see that? So you can use that beep. You can just search for different things. It's always best you just, sometimes you may not bring everything out, but just go to popular, right? Can you see different things? Laughter, different kind of laughters here. You can see applaud if you want people to clap. You have all of those different kinds. I was doing something the other time and I needed applause. So you can get all manner of effects. Of course, I don't want that to be there, so let me just delete that. So if you want voice effects, that's another thing. You can get voice effects. You can even record a voiceover. Let me get back in there. For you to record a voiceover, you just need to come over here where we have record, and then you can record a voiceover. If you're not happy with it, you can just redo it. I mean, InShot is such a beautiful place. It's very easy for you to really do editing on InShot. It's so intuitive, easy to use. Please don't forget that this is better than CAPCUT, because I told you for CAPCUT, people love CAPCUT. I don't know why, but personally, I love InShot more than CAPCUT. I use CAPCUT quite a number of times. People tend to use CAPCUT because of the captions, but you can also get that done here, right? But let's get into what is very interesting, right? So you can see how we can bring up, music. What about if you want to change the way your voice sounds? You go to what we call voice effects. Of course, now, of course, what else? Can you see what it says here? Voice effects. You can decide to change. I can decide to change this voice to a boy's voice. Let me change to a boy's voice. Oh my God, that's terrible.
People think it's hard. So
Let me make it a man's voice.
people think it's hard.
Terrible.
People think it's hard.
That's terrible. What if I want to? Now, this is another thing. If you want to amplify the voice even further, you can use this megaphone.
People think it's hard.
It's hard
So
to
let's
hear.
look at
Can you see that? Now, if I want to make it like a telephone, I mean, all of these things are voice effects you can use when doing your videos to create some form of effect as people are watching, right? Don't forget that the name of the game is retention. You want people to be retained, right? So that's it. So I've told you all the different kind of effects you can use, voice effects, sound effects, and of course, music. Okay? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, what if you want to add some call to actions? Maybe you want to get people to subscribe, right? Let's look at some of these things. How do you do that? You come over to where we have this, that you can either use the one that has sticker or the one that has text. So I prefer to just go straight to click on text, and then you can go here and click on the sticker, right? You can click on the sticker, it will still bring you here, right? And then you click on the search bar. You can easily just come here and click on social. We're trying to put in some call to actions. Like for instance, you want people to subscribe. These are animated socials. I always like using this one that shows that people are actually subscribing. You can put that at the corner somewhere towards the edge if you actually want it to be on the entire video. Or if you don't want it to be on the entire video, you can make it like, okay, they'll subscribe, like I'm asking you right now, subscribe, 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 subscribe. So you can put that at the corner, and then it just plays out, right? You can see that. Can you see it's short? You can make it to stay for longer. You can make it to stay for shorter, right? If you want to put likes, you can always go back to that same sticker. There are different types of likes here. If you want it animated, or you just want it, like for instance, this one is a very simple one. You can take that and put that on the other side, right? So you can see that we have both the subscribe and the likes. Those are the call to actions in the body of your video. Now, of course, if you want to have it all the way throughout, like some videos when I'm doing my movie review videos, I like to put subscribe at the very tip, at the corner, very, very close to the edge, and it will run throughout the video. Just a very little small icon at that point. And I tell you, it's a way of reminding people to subscribe to your channel, which is very, very important. Now, let's talk about how we can add a layer of picture, like an image, right? Or maybe you want to add another video on top of the video. So for instance, you want to substantiate, right, a particular point in your video. How do you go about doing that? You'll have to come to what I call the picture in picture. Can you see this boxing box here? Can you see that? That is what you call the PIP. You click on it, and then you can actually go and click on either video, right? As you can see, this is a video, or you can click on a photo, right? I can actually click on a video. If I want to pick on any video, let me look for a short video, something that I can just quickly take and put it. Oh, there are so many videos here. Let me just look for something where, okay, let me look for this. Let me just put this one here. It's a 10-second video. So, right, you can take that, you can layer it at the corner, right? Just at that corner. So this is a video, right? And I can decide I want it to play for like about 10 seconds. As you can see, it's playing the video, it's there moving, right? You can also make this a picture. So if I don't want it to be a video, I want it to be an image, you go to where it says photo, because it has different compartments, right? You can just pick a picture, right? Let me just pick the picture of this fruit here. I love the screenshots I take from my phone. You can just put that there, and you can determine the length of how long you want. You could put it maybe for longer or for shorter. You can always edit that, right? So that's how to layer on top of your video with either a picture or a video. All right, now let's go to some very exciting stuff. This is the place where you change our backgrounds. Are we excited about this? Let's go into it. So now I left this very, very important one for this best time. So now you don't like your background, right? And like this is a plain. I chose this video for effects because I wanted to let you know how to do this. We are going to change the background of this plain wall, okay, to something more interesting, something more exciting, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. So what are you going to use for this? We are going to look for what we call cutout. It's something you have to, can you see this thing called cutout? That's what we're going to use. So you click on that. When you do that, it brings you two options, cutout and this other one that's chroma. So we need to click on the cutout. When we do that, it removes the background for us. Now, of course, this is going to take some time before it's processes, okay? So what we need to do is wait for it to process, but in the process we need to choose another background. Then we go to another part of it that says background. Can you see where this says background? Click on that, and then you can try to change the background to a color. Let's say you want to make it pink. I don't want to make it pink. I want to make it a picture. So we're going to have downloaded a picture of where we want to use, right? So I'm going to go and select a picture. So you can do different kind of backgrounds. You can have multicolored variations and all of that, different kinds of backgrounds that you can use instead. But I don't want to do any of this, right? I want to use, let me go ahead and use picking a picture. You can see how that, and you can always, just adjust your picture to fit into the frame. So let's go ahead and select our picture. Now, of course, you have to choose where that picture is. I have a place where I've downloaded some of these pictures I've got in. I have a lot of compartments, right? So it has to resolve. Okay, so this is my downloads. Okay, I have quite a number of things I've downloaded here. So I'm just going to look for that background. There's one very sweet background I love. The one that is really, really sweet. Let's look for it. Let's look for it. Let's look for it. Let's hope we get it. Oh, I think I found it. That's it. I love this one. Now, notice that the background is blur. I can make it totally clear. You can see, all you just have to do, can you see all these circles? I come to the one very close to where the picture is. It's actually totally clear. I can decide to change, the blur of that particular picture. So I like to use this number 3 1. So it doesn't really give all the details. It just makes it look really interesting. So that's it. Now you can notice something right now, that we already have our background. We have our background here, so you can see how you just make sure that you fit in, your picture into the background. You can decide to take up more space. You come back to the background, fit in the picture here. Can you see that? Make sure that the video is fit in properly. Can you see that? And
hard because
so make sure that it's you don't want to leave too much headroom there. Neither do you want to make sure that it is fully arranged. Okay, that is very important. Can you see how the background has just changed and the way everything is? Don't you just love what we are doing right now? If you do, go ahead and give a like to this video, and of course don't forget to subscribe. That's it. So now we have changed the background. But there's something else that we also need to do, right? We want to do what we want to add filters. And then we also want to look at how we can add transitions. Because you see, you want to do some little moving tricks, right? And also to change the way the color is, because we want to make the color richer. I'm going to do that in a bit, right? So now we've changed the background. You can always do this for your videos if you don't like your backgrounds. You can see how we've transformed the way this video looks. And then we can go ahead and now do what I call color grading, right? Because you see, the color is a bit dull. I want it to pop. I want the color to come out, to show itself. So what do? We go to where we have this thing called effect. Okay, so when we come into this thing called effect, we have different things. We have effect, we have AI effect, we have filter, we have adjust. Now you can put filters if you want. Filters are just like, it just gives you some already made, kind of arrangements, some templates. You can decide to make it moss, right? You can decide to do, some of these things are pro, right? But what I prefer to use is adjust. There I can actually increase the brightness. Can you see that the color of the outfit is getting brighter? Can you see that? Can you see that? Right? It's only going to adjust the color of the video itself, not the background, because the background, you've already fixated that, right? So I'm going to choose, make sure it's a bit brighter. I choose the brightness. Then another thing is that you choose the warmth. I like to use warmth. These are my own settings. I like to use like 7 or 8, just to make sure that it gives a tinge of warmth. Let me just use 8. That you can see the color is getting more brilliant. You can use tint, but I skip over tint. I now use what I call saturation. Saturation, I'll use like 15. Let's use 15. Let's check on 15. Can you see how the color is so radiant now? You can use up to 20 really. And you can also do, no, I forgot one more thing I need to do. Let's look at this thing called sharpness, because that sharpness, you want to make sure that it's very, very sharp, right? You can sharpen the way the video is, so you can actually be sharper than the way it was. Can you see how lovely it looks? Just look at this. Just look at how sharp, how beautiful the color is, right? I'm going to show you the difference. There was a part where I trimmed off, right? So let me just slide there. Can you see this place? Number one, can you see the difference? Just look at this difference. Look at this difference. This is just what you have, it's totally bland. And of course the background, just look at the difference. Look at this now. Look at this beautiful difference. Of course I forgot to add the background to this one, because I actually had trimmed that out. So actually you're supposed to add the background before you start trimming out anything because you want to make sure that the background has already been fixed, and then you can now trim out stuff, okay, so that we can actually make sure that everything has been covered, right? You can see how this was the before, and this is the after. What do you think about that? Do you think it's lovely? I think it is. I think it is, right? So that's how you add filters, right? That's how you add adjustments. You want to make sure that this is looking good. Now, what about things like, transitions? Now let me go here with a simpler one so that it maybe zooms in and zooms out, right? Let's look at it. We'll go back to that same thing that has effects, and then you click on the effects again, because I want to show you something, how to give some zooms in and zooms out. You see, this first one will give you a zoom.
It requires
Yeah,
discipline.
can you see it zooming in? It's zooming in. You
It
see?
requires discipline.
Can you see? And then after that, it now gets,
Let me be honest with
it will only zoom in and zoom out the video, right? Remember that it's not going to zoom in and zoom out the background. So what I did just now was that it zoomed in, so I can decide to zoom out also.
you.
Can you see that?
I didn't actually feel like
Can you see how it is? Let me show you. Let's show you the two. Let me reduce the size so that it won't take so long. We'll look at the zoom out and we'll look at the zoom in. All right. So you can see those are effects you can put in between.
it requires discipline.
And of course, then we now have the.
Let me be honest with you.
That's interesting, right? So you can do those. Those are very simple, basic, effects you can add. But what I also want to show you is how to add some other things like animation, right? So let's go to where we have that animation that I was about to show you. So you can actually add, from the beginning. Let me just take it to the beginning so you can see how it fades in. You can add what I call, right, an animation at the beginning. Different kind of animations, right? You can decide that you want to make it just easily just fade in.
Is YouTube.
Can you see that? Can you see how it just faded in? You can change that.
Is YouTube.
Make it any kind of transition, or if you want it to really be very like pungent, you can actually choose any of these. Just play
Is
around with
YouTube.
it. Can you see how that is? You can put in all manner of transitions in between.
Is YouTube.
For you to have a transition, you definitely must cut a portion. So if I cut this place, because I can only have the transition at the beginning, but I can have some other ones someplace at the end. So if I cut this place here, can you see I can have another transition? Either it just fades out and then fades in. But if I want to have an animation here, I can put any kind of animation that I want. You can see I always like using these ones at the
Well,
beginning. Can you see that? So when it comes here, can you see that?
well,
Like that. So these are the different animations you can have. Now, of course, there are many things you can do. Many things that you can do. So yeah, I was talking about the effects that you can use at different points, right? But I think I needed to show you this one. You can use AI effects. There are many of them where it now is. I mean, these are things. I mean, to tell you the one that is pro, and it will tell you the one that is free. Even with the free options, so you can use AI effects, right? Different types here, or you can just use your normal effect. I like to use just a normal one because there are many of it. There are different types of it, right? And if you want to give any effect to your, I mean, in between it, you want to just give a little bit of effect. You can give some little bit of effect.
let me tell you from my perspective.
See, where it has different kind of effects just on top, just overlaying the video to give some change in view, right? So we can see that we have many effects that we can actually put into this video, different kind of effects, right? But there's also another thing. What if your video, you were quite slow in the video and you want to speed it up? That's where you can use the speed up function. This is the speed up function. Can you see what it says speed? You click on that and you can change the speed. You can reduce the way it is. You can make it slower, you can make it faster. Of course, if you want to make it faster, you can always make it to like 1.1, 1.2, and the video will be shorter. But if you want to make it slower, you can always do that and change that. But I just want to leave it as one. Just want to show you the speed option, because these are things you can use to create your video. So now we're practically done with our video, right? But one more thing, just in case you shot your video in a different aspect ratio, maybe your video size is different and you want to make it a YouTube shape, a YouTube aspect ratio, what are you going to do? You are going to use what we call crop. Now, there are two things you can use, but the crop version is really cool, right? So you come over here and you can slide through. You can see different kind of shapes and aspect ratios. You have 1:1, you have 4:5, you have 9:6, which is TikTok. We have the one for YouTube. That's it. It will help you to pick that. You can actually decide to even crop it, but whatever you're cropping, it will not change the aspect ratio. So maybe, for instance, you felt, oh, I should have made this a little bit smaller. The frame was too big. You can always come and do that. And now you can see that it's slightly different in the shape. You can see that it's zoomed in more. That's how you do it. You want to make sure that you are using the right aspect ratio, the one that YouTube approves. And if you want to make it TikTok, you go to the, and you can make it what, a TikTok, can you see that? It shows you different sizes, but we want to use this for YouTube. So that's how we go about it, right? Now, after you're done with everything and you're happy with your video, you've put in the call to actions like we have here. Let me put this, you can see that we have our subscribe and we have our like button. I hope you've subscribed to the channel. I hope you have done that already. Go ahead and do so, because I believe I've been able to deliver value to you, to teach you how to be able to edit your videos with ease using a very simple and very efficient app that I have been using for years and I have never regretted using it, right? So go ahead and give me a like and also subscribe to the channel. So the last stage is for you to export, and as you can see, it is right at the top there. That is export. You click on that. You can actually export to different resolutions. Now, the general one is 1080p. You can actually make this even stronger. You can make it 4K, but you see, the bigger or the higher the resolution, the more you are going to be consuming in terms of space. So you need to realize that whatever you choose, whether you choose 4K, you choose 2K, you choose 1080, it's going to be changing the estimated size of the video. So naturally accepted is 1080, but just in case you don't have too much space, you can go with 720. You can even customize and choose whatever you want, anything at least above 120, right? So let's just cancel that. So I think it's always better to go with 1080, but it's better also to do. I've done this 2K before. I didn't try doing the 4K because I knew it was going to be too large of a size. So I'll just say go with 1080, and then you hit what I call export. And once you export it, my people, it's time for you to upload it. Let's click on export, and it goes. Of course, while you're exporting it, it's going to serve you an ad. You can close it out. That's it. Interesting. Can you see that? Our video is exporting. All you have to do is wait for it. Okay, guys, we are done with our tutorial on how to edit your videos in INSHOT. So forget about CAPCUT. Let's go with INSHOT, because INSHOT is the easy way to go. So guys, I hope you had an awesome time going through that tutorial on how to edit your videos like a pro using InShot app. I hope that made a whole lot of sense. I hope you learned a lot if you did. If you did and you haven't subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and of course, like the video too. Now, if you have any questions about this, please go ahead and drop that inside of our comment section, right? And if you check in my description, you'll see that I have a free resource that you can use to grow your YouTube channel from zero to hero. So you can go ahead and click on it, and you'll be directed to get the free resource from me, and I will be sending that to you in a jiffy. Yes, and if for instance you would like me to do a video on how to create thumbnails using the InShot app, right, let me know. Or maybe you just want me to do a video on any particular topic, let me know also inside of the comments. I'll be waiting to hear from you. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.